Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to do some makeup. I don't ever do get ready with me's. I'm gonna give it a shot today. I'm not used to like talking and whatever. There's a pinned message that always pops up. I'm not doing tarot readings right now. I think I have to remove that through my laptop. It's not always relevant. Apparently I forgot to clean my eyes thoroughly earlier. My bad. Okay, so today's Wednesday. I have tarot cards in front of me. Perhaps I should. I didn't lay them out. We're going to talk about them a little bit. But in the meantime, we're starting with Poreless Putty Primer. They sent it to me for a sample, and I really like it. I don't know who's here, but hello. I'm doing a little get ready with me and talking about Wednesday. So, speaking of mail, right, because I got sent ELF in the mail to sample it, right? And they sent a full size, which is crazy. But it's Wednesday, so we're talking about Mercury. Mercury rules the post and generally like financial exchanges, negotiations, etc. Oh, cool. I'm glad you're here. I'm with Mia. I don't know, man. I've done this, but not in a while, not in a couple of years. Gotta get that eye booger out. Like, come on. Anyway, so I'm starting with the ELF primer. Wednesday. Mercury Day. So what do we have when it comes to Mercury to deal with? It's very complicated because we forget often that Mercury is intersexed, number one. It is neither a man nor a woman. It is both. People forget that. So we have a certain type of fluidity when we're talking about the mutables that are ruled by Mercury. I'll show you what I'm putting on my face too, because this shit is so cool. Dang, there's like a makeup chip on the center. Well, that's how girls' makeup looks when it's old. Like a lip liner or something. Eyeliner, I don't know. This is Oborian CC cream. Watch. It turns skin color, and it's the most nicest finish you ever did see. Like, it's so fucking pretty. Great stuff. Anyway, so Mercury is a data-oriented, quote-unquote, god. He is about communication, change of the seasons, because he has another quality that we don't, they have another quality that we don't. Thank you for correcting that correctly, brain. They have another job in the pantheon that nobody else has, which is they're able to go between worlds. They are a psychopomp. So Mercury is the only one that can go down to hell and come back without dying, and then go straight up to like Zeus. Go back to Mount Olympus and consort with everybody without dying. The only entity in the entire pantheon of gods that can function that way. So not only are they two-spirit in a way, I'm not sure that that's accurate to say, so forgive me if that's not. Hell yeah, do it. Do it, girlfriend. I'm not going to do anything too intense. It's like my little 5-minute look. And I'm not even joking. I've been using this color blush pretty much my entire life. I think I picked it up originally when I was 13 or 14, and I just keep purchasing it. It is the Wet n Wild Mellow Wine, and this is very much similar to the color. It is Wet n Wild Mega Glow, like stick blush, and I'm not wearing my glasses. It says Floral Majority. They seem very close in shades, so that will be something I do. I'm trying to decide what order I want to do this in today. I don't have a lot that I like to do to my face. I have a brush that's preloaded with Indian Earth, It's my bronzer. I don't like to do a lot. I don't do too much. Indian Earth is a little goes a long way type of product. It is a powder. You see how it's just like fresh sun. You can smear it around a little. I have a mirror off camera a little bit, but it can get a little bit too pigmented, so you got to be careful. That's why I load the brush the way I do ahead of time, and I pretty much keep it loaded at all times. But anyway, Mercury. This is the type of shit you deal with Mercury. I happen to be a mercurial person, so obviously I can bring messages from just about anywhere if I put my mind to it. I prefer not to do mediumship, but I can if I need to. What's up, Eliza? I said it right the first time. Oh my god. I don't know why I'm so, like, terrible at reading that name and saying it correctly. But I'm working on it. It's a flaw. So we're talking about Wednesday while I do my makeup and do a little get ready with me. I just put on some blush. I'm using like pretty much all not dollar, but like drugstore stuff. Except for the Aborian that I just put on my face. This is my CC cream. I put on a primer from ELF. Blush duo from Wet n Wild. And so I was just talking about how Mercury is a psychopomp itself. I was just about to divulge into the separations between Mercury and that side is way more pigmented than the other. How did I do that? Guess I gotta add more. Make it match. Maybe I look sunburned today. It's a vibe. So, difference between Mercury styles being Virgo and Gemini expression. In the tarot, Mercury itself oh, the speaker in my purse has low battery. I didn't realize that shit was still on. It's been on since yesterday morning. That was so Mercury expressions, Virgo, and Gemini. Now, in the cards, shut the fuck up! It's gonna be talking like that to me the entire time. Just die. Just die. Watch me crash out.
Power off.
Bubble. Back to center. Excellent. So, and that cream, this cream is really cool. I think I have the middle shade, which is Doré. So it's kind of on the tanner side, like a medium, beigey. I'm a beige person for real, like. I'm like a neutral, a warm neutral. It's so bad with the beige skin tone on me that I can't wear beige or white without a tan because I will wash out. That's how my skin is. Anyway, so Mercury split. It's already mutable on either side. So Virgo and Gemini square. So that's the triad. Mercury itself in the tarot is represented by the Magician. Love that card because it has every single element at play and you can touch it, utilize it, bend it to your will at will. So you have pentacles, swords, wands, and cups all at your service. Plus you have the lemon skate over your head, and the lemon skate doesn't pop up in all the cards. It's kind of on the rare side. I believe it's in the Two of Cups. I think it's in also the Strength card, and it's in the Magician card. And I don't remember it off the top of my head in any other cards. I'm sure there's a correlation between those three cards, but we're not just studying that today. We're talking about the Mercurials. So we're starting with the Magician. Then we have, and I wrote this down earlier too, we have the Lover's card. Lover's card is the Gemini card. And the Hermit is the Virgo card. Gemini card includes other people and brings them closer. And it's to me, it's not so much when I see the Lovers, I don't think, oh my God, it's a love life card, XYZ, romance, blah, blah, blah. It's not that. It's the love between, the communication between people, you and the people you love. And it complicates things in the Pulp Tarot deck because it's like the moment of awareness of sin where they've eaten the apple and they're already clothed with the fig leaves. And that didn't happen until they met shame in the biblical sense. So, I've been thinking about snakes a lot lately. Michael just posted about a snake dream, and it's been a theme popping up for the last couple days. Anyway, so the snake is debatable in a lot of not just cultures, but belief systems, that maybe the snake wasn't a bad thing. Maybe the snake represents your kundalini, and it was part of the wisdom that you were meant to have, but were being protected from when it comes to the tree of life and the tree of knowledge. That's getting in the weeds a little bit. But still, the Gemini card is about interpersonal relationships, regardless of familial or love, or children even. Love comes in many forms, yes. I'm glad you're here. Rebirth and renewal, correct. So in terms of that original sin story, you have to sort of kind of contextualize that and decide for yourself what makes sense in that area. So the Hermit card is a little bit less welcoming in that way. It's more about, to me, I don't know, it's kind of like, have you earned your humanity within yourself to be able to spread it around with other people? Have you truly met yourself? Have you communicated with yourself first? How self-aware are you? How much consideration do you give to your own survival before you interact with other people? You know, like, is your backyard clean before you try to invite somebody over? You know, it's a very interesting card when I read it. It comes out so many different ways, but the involvement generally of the Merkaba needs to be recognized. So one could postulate that the snake and the knowledge in the Lover's card is directly related to something driving you out of Eden, pushing you out into the wilderness and into a different style of knowledge and interpersonal relationship that's more about magnetism than quantity. You know, like, you're calling in certain kinds of interactions to yourself that you might not have before. I don't know, I'm trying to say, talking and putting makeup on's hard. I don't do it normally, but I guess I should. Got my girlies here. I gotta get better at this at some point. There's this sense of owning the isolation that comes with the 6th and 12th house in the Hermit card. It doesn't, you endure it for the benefit of having something to turn around and offer. It's like being of service. In that card, to me, it's like taking your wisdom and turning it around, and the only way a Mercurial could. So both Mercurials, you got to remember, in the Lover's card and in the Hermit, they're going to be psychopomps as well, as is, you know, the Magician. So they can go anywhere with this. They're just going for different reasons. The Magician is the embodiment of the mercurial exchange in all ways. And, you know, Gemini is interpersonal relationships, inner thoughts, taking in data, as much data as you can get. Because you're curious. Just endlessly curious. Virgo assimilates. This is what I remember Rick Levine saying is the difference between Mercury ruled signs. I guess it would help if I brought the pencil up instead of just trying to put it on. It's hard when you're half blind, I'm telling you. It takes a significant amount of concentration. So a Virgo, in a lot of ways, gets overstimulated. They get tummy issues. They have sensory processing disorders, bless you. IBS related to emotional lockup, because there's just so much data to process. And if it's unorganized, it really does do something to your nervous system. Confusion does not sit well with you. The Mercury expression of Gemini is a little bit more acclimated to the unknown because we believe in surprises being positive inherently. And I think that the Virgo might not feel that way. And rightly so. That's just their experience speaking, right? So, Wednesday altogether is magical. We just went through Monday, the moon, our mothers, Mars, and the libido and triggers. So it's very interesting that the week is constructed first leading with emotion to open the week, and then you go into action and initiation. Like technically Tuesday is really the true beginning of the week, to be honest, if you ask me. That's when your week really begins, it feels like. Wednesday is about taking a minute, assimilating data in some cases, but also gaining data, sort of like taking stock. Trying to think, you know, this might be the day that you might want to pay attention, depending on if, you know, I don't know. I haven't done any data on this myself, any case studies on me first, because it's just coming to me. But it might be a good idea to track days of the week that things happen to you on. For me, I broke my ankle on a Tuesday. And earlier this year, as soon as Saturn, I guess it was Neptune that went in first. Neptune went into Aries on a Saturday, and I went to the gym that day and dropped a weight on my foot, the same foot that I wound up breaking a little bit later. So that's neither here nor there. It's Saturn and Mars for me that trigger it. But I think Wednesday, obviously, if something's happening on a Tuesday, I'm taking all day Wednesday to think hard about what just happened. Cries and autism. Yeah. I don't know what I said specifically that made you say that, but same. Same. This is basically like a special interest session. By the way, I just used this Got to Be Glued. It's my favorite eyebrow gel that I've ever found because it doesn't leave white crusty in your eyebrow hair. Like all of the other ones leave a white cast and it looks like cum, honestly. And I don't like it. This is clear. I mean, it's gotten a little makeup in it as I've used it. It's a few months old, but it's a great product. What else do I want to say about Wednesday? hard to open things with my nails the way they are, but I am not going to change my nails. They look good. So beckoning, I want to say like a Virgo expression of communication isn't going to be accepted very well if it's unsolicited, because it has the hermit energy to it. The hermit needs to be invited to share that knowledge more or less, because the hermit is already so isolated. So consider that when we're thinking about the expression of these things. We have 3 entities of communication or back and forth, maybe 4 if you want to consider the angel in the Lovers card. That's pretty interesting. There's a snake, there's the angel, and there's there's Adam and Eve. That's something to consider. It's communication, but there's this element of you either, how do I put this? It's embodiment in a way. You either are everything in a communication. There's a certain level of wholeness in the hermit. It's not codependent whatsoever. There's that's the word I'm looking for. There's an equanimity in the hermit that the Lovers just doesn't quite have. That's the word I was looking for. It's hard to talk and do this, I'm not gonna lie. I've got to practice at this. I honestly haven't even thought to bring this mirror over here, because I'm usually doing my makeup in front of the window where the natural light is. But here we are, and I don't hate this. The light's okay. And I'm sitting down, which is cool. No dude is going to sit here and watch this. That's fine. I don't think I make my content for bros. I don't think the algorithm really shows my stuff to bros unless it's got some skin in it, you know? Wednesday is about cognition, reception. Again, everything is about perception in its own way. It's like prisms, you know. Basically, everything comes through you, the white light, and you're the prism. Everything expresses through you in your chart. The planets are the rainbows inside of you. And the light comes through you. So I think today, more than anything, the most important thing to do would be to journal in some kind of way. I think that's really important. I wonder if I add a little bit more brown, if it'll calm this situation down a little bit. I'd rather look tan, not like hot. I'm gonna look hot no matter what. It's sweaty. Very overstimulated. Yeah. Gemini, if we were to split, I'm not a doctor, but if we were to split the mercurial expressions up, I would say Mercury itself is ADHD. Gemini, it probably represents ADHD, and Virgo probably represents autism. They're on the spectrum. Yeah. This eclipse, I didn't even, I'm not even taking that into account. I'm making these day by day, but tomorrow is the eclipse. This just chipped off. Dang it. This pencil is like a champagne color, and it adds just the right amount of light to the eye, but it is a pain in the ass to sharpen. It's poking me in the eyes right now. But look at that. It just adds a little something. It is from Maybelline. It's a tattoo studio. It's like a champagne color. Especially the journaling. I would, you know, just adding this here. I wouldn't maybe write spells if you're intending to do magic. I don't think every eclipse should be worked for magic. I think this one's gonna, if you do magic, put energy towards the destruction aspect being in your favor, because we can't prevent things from crumbling and falling apart, but we sure can get out ahead of it and use that Virgo energy to sacrifice what does not truly matter. Very Fight Club, actually. What did he say? What did Tyler Durden said? He said to let go of what truly does not matter, or something like that. That scene, I use that scene all the time where they're wrestling over the steering wheel, and Tyler looks over and he says, "Just let go." What's up, Bari? I'm talking about Wednesday a little bit. I'm sure I'm not going into the herbal correspondences because that's not my thing really, but I was talking about how Mercury's a psychopomp, the expressions of Virgo and Gemini, and the tarot cards that go along with it. It's so hot in my house. I'm already sweating. Girl. Oh yeah, I forgot to do that. I always put a little blush on my eyes. Something was looking weird. Watch how this pulls together. And yeah, I use a big brush. It looks cute. It's an angled brush, so I can just use the tip. See why that's my favorite blush I've had in my entire life? And I promise you, as this gets sweaty all day, it's just going to look better and better and better. I might go over there and put like a frost in the center of my eyes, but I didn't bring it over here. So it's not fully done, but I'm going to put on my mascara. I can do both. But I'm almost done with this. You can ask me anything. I'll answer it if you have any questions in mind. I think, aren't you a Virgo rising, Mia? I can't remember if you're a Leo rising or a Virgo rising. Virgo risings have the toughest transits. I don't know how it is now for you guys, now that, you know, Saturn isn't in Pisces so much. But if you're young, you're approaching your Saturn return when Saturn leaves Aries, right? I think you're younger than Lex. Virgo rising girl. So tell me, little misorganized communication with this newsletter that you have. Do you feel like it's accurate that a Virgo energy requires an invitation to, or requires to be magnetic in order to, you know, be solicited for their mind, to be solicited for their tips? Because everybody, Mercurial, has a hot tip or a fun fact, but does it seem that people welcome it better if it's solicited? This mascara is also ELF. I love it because it is one of those, oh my god, my brain just blanked. wrapping mascaras or tubing mascaras. But it doesn't work like the other tubing mascaras in the way that it's not stretchy or sticky. It looks smooth going on. And when my lashes touch my skin, and I always have moisturizer on, some kind of oil or something going on my face, it doesn't flake really bad when I'm sweating. Most mascaras, I don't like wearing waterproof. So you'll get like little streaks of brown all over your face, and because it's a tubing mascara, if it gets moist, it just slides off. It doesn't, if it flakes, it's not sticking to your skin and leaving a black streak. It just like, you can wipe it off. A sign of service, yeah. You guys are very common though, the Virgo. It's not something to just push away. Y'all exist in a big number. There's a majority of Virgos in the zodiac. That's just the sun signs, you know? That's not even counting the moons and the risings. So we need every single one of you to help us understand and categorize this data that we receive in the world, and we're inundated with data more than ever. You know, I think, ew, I wonder what the astrology was of the Library of Alexandria burning. I'm dead ass curious. Now I'm gonna have to look that up. What was the astrology of the Alexandria library burning? I need to know. It had to be a mercurial sign or debilitation of some kind of transit. But that was shit. Oh my god, that stuff makes me so mad. And yet we have all of these like hardback books. I even have, oh man, I left streaks. That was my bad. I should have let that dry before I tried to get rid of it. I have a lot of hardback books that are sitting in my like storage units outside, and I'm guilty of not looking at them very often and reading what they say myself. We have a lot of data that just goes unappreciated, and I think about those books all the time. Some of them are in bags so they don't get damaged more than they need to be, but I've given away 100-year-old books before as gifts. And it's funny because, this is a side note, complete side rant, every time I've given away a book, that person winds up like fizzling out in my life in some way or another. They wind up being, it's like a curse. They're out of my life within the next year every time I give an old book. And I'm gonna stop doing that, to be for real. It's like giving a pair of shoes to your lover for Christmas. You just realize it's not a good idea. Anyway, I knew verbosity was a deal with this live and the get ready with me. Still feels really pink. I don't think I need much more makeup. I don't know, it doesn't look like... I wonder if I change this, if I'm less washed out. Very... trying to get a true... It doesn't look like I have much blush on at all, but in person it looks crazy. Anyway, now I'm just talking. I knew I was going to be a little verbose with the mercurial stuff, though. and I needed to do this, so I thought I'd do two things at once. And if you like Get Ready With Me's, I might do this more often. I don't have a reason not to. It's just getting in my head about it, because I'm not necessarily good at talking at the same time. But anyway, so whoever sees this later, this is for you. Mercurials to be in consideration, and the assignment is to do a little journaling, even if it's just to be in gratitude in journaling, just to remind yourself why it's good to be alive. Let's face it, life is hard lately and confusing, and it's really easy to get wrapped up in negative shit even when good things are happening. Our brains are just wired to look for reasons to survive, or looking for survival in general, and we don't hold on to the positive things that wind up coming by. Or we're too afraid to let ourselves experience that positivity because we might get dropped down again. But we're talking about mercurial energy today, so pretend you're an honorary mercurial, and even if you get dropped into this to the worst parts of hell, you can get in and get out at will. You might find yourself in hell, but the way you think about being in hell is going to make a huge difference to your experience of visiting it. You can always sneak into hell and put Pluto in a headlock if you want. Nobody's going to stop you. Of course, it would be against the Plutonic etiquette of approaching death itself. But you're mercurial. You're pretty much sanctioned. Don't shoot the messenger. Okay. That's it for now. I love you guys. Thank you for coming, Mia. Heart. Oh, wait. Hold on. Let's do the millennial heart. I'm not millennial. Oh my god. Gen Z. Am I doing it? I feel like I'm throwing game signs. Anyway. Toodles.